Hi, this is Sandy. This week we're going to finish up our cubism and our surrealism with Pablo Picasso. Pablo Picasso was a painter and an artist, and by the time he was 50, he was known worldwide. One of the first times that ever happened that somebody got famous before they died. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm ready to start. And I've got my paper. I'm going to be using chalk and pastel pencils, both. I've got my notes, everything I want to tell you. And I went and I took 2 selfies with my phone. One selfie is my full face front. The other selfie is my face on the side. When Pablo Picasso was born in 1881, he was born in Spain, and his father was an artist. He was a professor, and he taught his son, Pablo, art. By the time he was 13, he was better than his father, and his father said he might as well quit painting. So I thought that was really kind of interesting. But I want you to see how things evolved. If you look at the pictures that are coming up right now, you're going to see a portrait of Aunt Pippa. This was done when he was 13 years old. Now, if you notice Aunt Pippa, that looks like a real person. The colors, the facial structure and everything. Then he was studying the masters. He was studying Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo and the way they painted. And it's interesting that this does look like one of the original masters' paintings. Now I want you to look at the painting that's now up on your screen, the portrait of Aunt Gertrude. This was done in 1904 or 1905. Look at the two of them together. The two paintings together, you can see that, yeah, we're getting a little bit different in what our portraits look like. So from 1894 to 1905, that's 10 years. In 10 years, you would think somebody got better. But how can you get better than what he was? So he went the other way. He started looking at different things. We're going to talk about the coloring, how come it's different, while we're doing this. Now I'm going to put up a portrait, the portrait of Dora Maar. That was his girlfriend, believe it or not. And if you painted a picture of your girlfriend like that, I think you'd be broke up real fast. But that's what we're going to concentrate on today. That the portrait of Dora Maar was done in 1937, which is 30 years later than the portrait of Aunt Gertrude. So, or the portrait of Gertrude Stein, not Aunt Gertrude. So look at how it changed. We're going to actually do the portrait of Dora Maar, but we're going to do ourselves. So this is another self-portrait. Okay, so you're ready to start. We've got our pictures. And if you want to look at it one way, he took the same person, he took the nose, and he made that the center. So I've got a nose here, and I've got this one, and then I'm going to put the two together. So to put the two together, I can actually fold my paper. So this is going to be one side where the nose is, and this is going to be the other side. Or I could even go further and put the other side over here. But I like this one right here because that's almost two. So this is what we're going to make our self-portrait. Before we taped the self-portrait down and we drew the exact other side of it, this time we're going to put these two aside and we're going to draw them. So first of all, I'm going to draw this one. This is the nose, so I'm going to make my nose. If you notice from Dora Maar's portrait, there's no shape. There's just lines. So my nose is there. And then it's here. And my eyes, you might think that the eyes should be looking like eyes, but they're just basic shapes. So here's my eyeball. Here's my eye. And here's my other side of the eye. And I can make it come all the way down here like that. All right. Now I've got to have a mouth. Well, we know that the mouth right here is right there. There's one mouth. There's my chin. There's the bottom of my chin. And I know there's an ear over here because I can see it. So I'm going to move my ear right there. And then I've got hair. And I've got some hair here. And I've got some hair here. And the rest I can make hair. Okay, I don't like my angry eye, so I'm going to change that. I'm going to give myself a smile because I don't like my angry face, my downturned lip. All right, now I'm going to move to the other side. The other side is going to be way over here. And what I'm seeing is this side of my nose. And my eye over here. And this has an ear, but we don't see it at all, no matter what I do. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And then this has the neck. I can make it interesting. I can put a hand up over here. Now remembering, your hands don't look like hands really. They're just, we know that there's fingers. Cubism is all about lines, remember how we've been working on that. And now I might put my neck over here and my shirt. Okay, well, I forgot the lips over here. So let's go ahead and say it goes like this. think that's about it. Boy, is that going to be a drawing. Okay, let's get some color on it. Now I made awful dark lines here, so anything I don't need, I'm going to erase. So in the lifetime of Pablo Picasso, we saw the Spanish War, I think, was that time, and also the World War I, World War II, the Korean War. We saw Kennedy. He saw Kennedy get elected to president. He saw the sinking of the boat, Titanic. He lived through, or he saw that happen. He had seen a lot of things in his lifetime. So he went through periods of time where he was very, very upset and depressed about what was happening. His friend committed suicide, and they called that his blue period. For 2 years, he painted only in shades of blue and green. But then 2 years later, he felt better, and he painted in shades of orange and red. When we do our portrait, we're going to do half of it in blue and red, or blue and green, and the other half in orange and red. So it should be really interesting what we get. Okay, so let's go the blue half on the left. So I'm going to start with my blue pencils, and I know my eyes are kind of hazel, so I'm going to put them in here as kind of hazel. And I'm doing this with pencil only because right here it's much easier to control it. So my fine features I want to put in pencil. Yeah, I want some browns in here because I do know that there's some gold and brown in my eyes. What color are your eyes? How are you going to show your colors of your eyes? Okay, so as we're doing this, I still want to get some highlight in those eyes. So the pupil in the center is dark, it's black, but maybe there's a highlight right here. So I'm going to leave that in there, and I'm going to go around it. See how easy that smudges? I'm just going to make these lines that were in my eye. Right there, like that. Okay, now let's go over to the other side, and I'm going to make the eyes match because I think the eyes really tell it all. You don't have to get quite as detailed with the eyes if you don't want to. Now remember, I have this highlight over here. I'm going to put that same highlight in about the same spot. Okay. Now I'm going to put my nose in, and I'm going to use a brown to do that. My lips I'm going to leave alone. Okay, we've basically got this all in. I'm not going to do the hands until the last. Now, remember I said the left side is going to be your blues, and the right side is going to be your oranges and reds. So now I'm going to get out my chalk. And I know my hair I want it to be part of the same white color. So I'm not going to go by that rule there, but I'm going to go ahead and give myself some gray. Okay, I've got some gray. I want my ears totally in it. Now I'm going to go to work with my blues. My blues and my greens are going to be on this side. I'm going to start with the hair. I'm going to put some blues over here. Do you know why I chose chalk? Because it's so easy to blend. I'm going to put up a little bit darker gray up here. Believe it or not, that is gray. Give myself some eyebrows. Okay, now I'm going to give myself, on this side, some lips here, but I'm going to put a light shade of blue down. See that light blue? Then I'm going to come over it, and I want my lips to be about the same color, so I'm going to get some pink. Okay, so there's that half. Now I've got to get this half colored of my face. And I'm going to actually go with some green. I'm going to put the color down on this ear, and then I'm going to come back later and fix it. When he was going through this blue period that he calls, his friend had just committed suicide. There was famine, not enough food in Spain, and a lot of the people, the children had malnutrition. So he was really, really depressed about the way life was going. And it showed in his work. All right, I'm going to come over here to the ear, and I'm actually going to just give an indication of what things are and where they are. Okay, now I'm going to wipe my hands off. I have a damp paper towel here. I'm going to do the other side. And this time I'm going to do it in oranges and reds or pinks. So here's an orange. Here's a good orange. So let's start orange lips. And we'll put that same pink over it that we used on this side. It isn't showing up very well, is it? Blend them together now. Okay. Now, take this orange. It's more like a yellow. So we'll stick with this orange right here. I'm going to switch over to some pinks, make it a little bit brighter. Okay, I've lost some of the lines here. So I'm going to get my brown color and put them back in. Go around the lips. Okay, I'm going to let you decide what you're going to do with this hand. I know that I've got nails, so I'm going to put, I don't have red nails, but might as well put them on. How about some dark pink nails? And I think I want to get some of that blue-green. Pablo Picasso had a lot of titles, basically, as an artist. We know he started out very young. By the time he was 13 years old, he was better than his father, who has his, you can find his father's paintings also in museums. So that in itself is an accomplishment. Okay. Now, just for fun, what I want to do is I want to take a blue, and where there's the pink side, I'm going to put the background in blue. Pablo Picasso used to say that all children were artists. The problem was how to remain an artist once you were a grown-up. And as I look at this picture that I'm doing, I'm thinking, this looks like something a kindergartner would do. Okay, I want to get some pink down here. All right, so I've got my blue side done. Then I want to do my pink side over here. So let's see, what pink am I going to use? I think we're going to go back to this light pink. Because I'm working with a different color here, I should have changed gotten my fingers clean. Okay. I'm going to blend this in. So Pablo Picasso is known as an inventor in the art world. He invented Cubism along with Georges Braque. That was taking everything apart and putting it back together. Okay, I'm going to take black because I know I've got a black shirt on here and finish this out. And let's see, get some of this gray. I don't like to be all dark. He also invented constructed sculptures. So he liked to work in sculptures too. And he would take different pieces and use it to make sculptures. But that led to what we have today is modern day collages. Until then, collages, which means, different mediums, mixed mediums on a paper, weren't done. So it's thanks to him that we do that today. Okay, so now I've got my basic structures in here. My hands are nice and dirty. Put my shirt back over on this other side. What I'd like to do now to finish out my painting, my drawing, is to take my colored pencils and use them to tighten up some of these lines. I've got to be real careful when I do this that I don't put my hands in this. So I'm going to tighten up the lines. That's a picture I'll post, and that's how I'm doing it, and we'll see you next time.